You've been aspiring to this online world, it looks like, for a while. So what's kept you from getting in it? Because you're clearly got business chops. You do all these great things in the offline space. What's holding you back?
I wrote down 2 words on that intake sheet you did. I would say comparison and distraction were 2 of the things that really held me back. And those 2 things have put me in a place what I call smoldering discontent for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel it. Yeah.
I just think, it's easy to sit there and watch all the gurus, the Stu's and the Dans and the Russell Brunsons and all the whiz bang software they use and what they're doing. And it's like, they make it look so easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when it comes down the rubber meeting the road and implementing it, for me, and I hate to say this, I had the financial funds to do it because I justified it as a business expense.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can buy all that technology gear and the cameras and the teleprompter and the lights and the courses and the seminars and the masterminds. I'm like, that's just a tax deduction. So it made me feel good to do it.
But you never did anything with it at that point.
I was kind of making progress, but really I was just still I stayed in this continuous student mode. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And like the comparison word is interesting that you use that. Comparison is like, well, I bought all the things they have, but I'm not doing anything like they're doing. And like, it's almost like, well, wow, look, they made all these videos. They made all these podcasts. They did all these things. I didn't do it. Right. And then it's like you get stuck because you've got all the tools and resources that they've got, but you're not doing it with it. And the distraction thing is like, so you just forget about it. Like, it's like almost like you use distraction as the coping mechanism to get away from the comparison, basically.
Well, and here's what's funny. When we had our business going in full swing, we had hired, like a lot of people, we'd hired consulting companies, and they recommend, we put together these robust computer systems, and we hired 2 or 3 big companies to put together e-commerce systems for us, and they failed. I mean, they literally failed. And it was probably over $200,000 in losses that we had. So I always had a bad taste in my mouth about technology and tech people. And I just didn't trust them. Yeah. So I would buy the technology pieces and components and services, but there was kind of a trust level of who to hire to put that all together for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think that one advantage that me and Jocelyn had was that we were too broke to afford any of that stuff when we started our business. Right. So we kind of had to, I don't want to say minimalist. I wouldn't call us minimalist. Like, we do try to have good tech, but like, we could only use the technology we could afford at the time. So when I started my business, and I knew I had to figure out the basics, the first principles, the things that actually made the money, and then get the minimum viable equipment to make it happen. So, we knew that we had to create content. That's what makes all this go. Frank, Dan Kennedy, Russell, all those guys, it's all content. Like, the click funnels and all that stuff comes later, but like, it's the content that sells everything. The sales letters that you got from Dan Kennedy every day, right? Like, that's the content. Right. So for us, I was like, okay, well, we got to have a computer. So I went and got a $200 computer from Walmart. Well, I knew I wanted to have a podcast. Well, what's the minimum viable tech that I need to do a podcast? Well, I got this $50 microphone from Audio Technica that I still have like 10 of them, and I still use them. Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm still using the same microphone that I started with 10 years ago because I love it. It cost me $50 when I first started. USB wire, and I used to edit on Audacity, this free program that you can get, right? So that was it. That's all the tech I had. And I knew I had to have a membership. That was really hard in the beginning, but now we just use this simple platform called Kajabi, which is like, I can build a website on it. I can build an email list on it. I can email my email list on it, and I can host my product. Like, when you log into the Flip Lifestyle community, it's all on Kajabi. It's all on this one platform, right? It's got a CRM in it, has all that. And then at the end of the day, we're all in the service business, right? We're in the teaching business. We're in the serving business. We're in the Q&A business. We're in the coaching business, in whatever community we decide to lead. So I had to go with this power of broke mentality, and I never got bogged down in all the tech because I just don't use any of that nonsense. Right. You know what I mean? So like, that's how we fight it, is like, I can't compare myself to Pat Flynn, Dan Kennedy, Russell Brunson. They've got resources that maybe we don't have. So forget that. I'll just do what I can with what I got right now, and I'll move forward. And I'll find the simplest technologies to do the exact same thing the big dogs do. Create content, connect community, coach people.